Thanks for having me. So I'm Tom. I'm a co-founder of the Art Cloud Gallery, together with my partner in life and business, Marieke. So together we started out with Art Cloud a couple of years ago, 4 years ago to be exact. And we actually started the gallery as being passionate art lovers and also art collectors. And it's from that passion that we started to build relationships with artists and to host exhibitions. So we started in the art world without any experience. The only experience that we had was we love art, we love to go to exhibitions, and we love to buy a piece from time to time. And we believe that the fact that we had no experience at all in the art world is our main advantage, because we don't have to obey to the written and unwritten rules there are, especially in the world of galleries. So we believe in less rules and more soul. That's what is a little bit our mantra, if you want. So that was the starting point for us. So we entered the world of galleries with curiosity, intuition, and I think also a little bit naivety, but a healthy dose of being naive. So the main question that we had when starting out was, what if a gallery is not a space, is not a physical place, but it becomes a platform? What would that look like? And why is that interesting? I think for two reasons. First of all, having no fixed place and space is interesting from a cost perspective, because you have no fixed costs. But also, if you have no physical place that you need to maintain and where you need to constantly host shows, you can do a lot more interesting things. You can recreate the idea of what a gallery could be. And that's where it starts to get interesting for us. Although the cost dimension is also important, because most galleries, when they start out, they don't survive their third year of being in business. Because the huge costs that come with starting a gallery, maintaining a gallery, in a lot of the cases is the reason why most galleries can't make a living out of it and stop in their third year. It's 50% of the galleries that don't survive the third year of operating the business. So we have a couple of principles that come with that idea of a gallery as a platform, and that's what I want to take you through. What are those principles and how do they work out for us? So the first principle is that we are a nomadic gallery. We have, as I already said, no fixed location. We move to different locations. And what is interesting about that is that you are not linked to a specific space in Flanders or in Belgium. You're not linked to a specific city. And you can go to many special places and specific places. You can choose locations that add to the experience that the visitor, the art lover, will have. So what did we do in the past couple of years? We hosted an exhibition in a very small, picturesque, white church in the middle of the fields in the Flemish Ardennes, where Davy also showed for the first time with us a couple of pieces. We went to a castle domain that you saw in the movie. Very nice venue, an old orangery where they kept the exotic plants, and we took that over. So that was a beautiful space. We went to an old doctor's house in the city of Oudenaarde that we took all the floors and had two shows at the same time. And as we speak now, we have an exhibition in the city of Ostend at the coast. So we can go to many different locations, venues. We can choose venues where normally people don't host art shows. And we choose spaces and places that add to the overall experience. So actually, it becomes a little bit of a destination. It becomes a place where people love to go to, not only to see the art, but also because they wonder what that location, what that venue looks like, or they want to combine coming to the show with a stroll in nature or visiting the city. So that's a little bit the idea. What is the big advantage of that? I think the big advantage is that we can keep it interesting constantly because it's new artists that we show in new venues and new cities. So there is constantly some kind of new experience that we can bring to our audience. So that's the first principle. It's a nomadic gallery. Our second principle is that we try to create experiences. Experiences not only through the venues that we pick, but also through the fact that we try to bring art to life for the visitors. We don't want visitors just to be visitors. We want them to be participants in the experience. We focus a lot also on bringing art to as many people as possible. Also the youngest of us and children, so we are very child-friendly. We host specific guided tours in our exhibitions, specifically tailored to children. On Sunday mornings, typically 10:30, 11 o'clock, we take a whole bunch of children through the exhibition and we talk about art, but at their level. We tell stories that resonate to them. We talk about art in a totally different way. We also host workshops with the artists that are part of the show, where visitors and people who come can create together with one of the artists that is part of the exhibition. And this Sunday in Ostend, we take, together with the artist that we host the show with, Alicia, she takes a group of people through the city, visiting all the graffiti walls that are now part of Crystal Ship, the graffiti festival, the street art festival that is currently taking place in Ostend. So we not only have that specific space, that specific venue, where we show the art of a new group of artists, we also always try to combine it with multiple experiences that the visitors can really participate in. So nomadic and experiential. The third one for us is really important, and that is artist-centric. We believe that too many galleries love to talk about themselves and not about the artists. It's a lot about, this is our gallery, this is why our gallery is so fantastic. For it's just the opposite. We don't want to talk about ourselves, although I'm doing that right now. We want to talk about our artists. We want to tell the story of our artists through the shows and the exhibitions that we host, but also we bring their story to life through video. You see a couple of them in the background. We did one with Davy here in his studio. And we really want to bring to life how artists work in their studios, but also where they find their inspiration. Like the current show that we have with Alicia Pullman in Ostend. We shot a 9-minute documentary at the coast, visiting the places and the spaces where she, in her hometown, finds inspiration. And that's for us really important. That's for us very central in our story, that we bring to life the stories that our artists want to tell, and we help them doing that so. And then I think we are at the core of, let's say, the way we engage our audience. For us, digital, using social media, using digital platforms, it's not just an add-on. For a lot of galleries, having an Instagram page is what they think they just must do. For us, it's probably one of the things, together with our website and our other social channels, it's one of the elements that create that kind of constant interaction with our audience. So for us, digital is really a foundation. It's the way we, in between shows, keep the interaction going, the engagement going with our audience. We host approximately 5 shows a year. That's less than the average gallery does. More or less 10 shows is what the average is in the art gallery world. So our shows are just there also for a very short period of time. We don't do the typical 4-week show, 4 weekends, because we believe that most people come during the opening and during the closing. So why have the piece in the middle? So we had, for the show we currently host in Ostend, we had the vernissage yesterday evening, and Sunday we close. So it's just a 4 days and an evening exhibition, which makes also that people feel the urgency to come. And which makes that it becomes more of an event that you also promote, like you promote events these days, through social media, through video, and in real time, you bring, let's say, the experience also to your audience, and you want to attract people. Like yesterday evening, also Igor and Valentin, they were there. They shot some nice images, and already this afternoon we released a little video clip to attract people for tomorrow and the days to come. So there is really that kind of mix between the digital and the physical experience that we try to bring. We bring a lot of pieces of content to our virtual audience. On average, every other day, there's a new piece of digital content that goes live. And that can be video content, but it is also written content. We also share, as a couple, an art-loving couple, what we visit. So we not only talk about our own exhibitions, we also talk about exhibitions that we like and that we visit. And we also just promote those other exhibitions. Like next week, we go to Venice to the Biennale. Well, that's a lot of content that we can produce, and that's where we again show these are the things we enjoy, these are the things we like. But we also give tips and tricks on exhibitions that take place just here in our nice cities of Ghent, Antwerp, Brussels. And even because we believe that we want to bring art to as many people as possible, we give them tips and tricks on simple things like how do you buy a first piece of art? How do you start your own little art collection? How do you frame a piece? That's the content we try to bring, really a mix of exhibitions we like, tips and tricks that help you to enter the art world as a starting collector and art lover, all the way to the stories, of course, we want to tell about our exhibitions and our artists. And in a couple of weeks from now, we're going to do something new. For the very first time, we're going to record a podcast series. So we will have our very first episode of a podcast. And the very first episode will be around why art is happiness. So how art brings happiness in people's lives. And we have a couple of interesting guests. The venue where we are is the Merode collection, which is a private collection in the Flemish Ardennes, where also our base is near Oudenaarde. And the collection is a huge hall full of fantastic pieces of art. So we will have a very nice setting for the first episode. And of course, it's father and daughter who are, let's say, the passionate people behind the collection that you can also, by the way, visit. So every other weekend they have open doors, and you can visit the collection, and they go do guided tours. So they will share, let's say, how they built the collection and what they try to bring to people that visit the collection. We will have Susanna Fransen. She is a psychologist, and she uses art in the therapy she does with her clients. So that's also how does she bring happiness back in people's lives where happiness has faded out a little bit. So how does she use art to bring happiness back in their lives? And then we will also have an art historian who will talk about, let's say, more the historical perspective, how art has always brought meaning and happiness in the lives of people. So digital is really an important part of our model, because I think digital is the way that we engage and communicate with our current audience, our future audience, every other day. So that means on an annual basis, there are 175 pieces of content that go live. So there is that kind of constant flow, and we also see that our audience, our community is actually enlarging almost every single day. Because that's a little bit how we see ourselves. Do we see ourselves as a gallery? Well, maybe not. We see ourselves as a platform, and maybe a better word is a community of art lovers. People who enjoy art, people who collect art, and artists. And we also find it very important that they can engage with one another. We always try to have our artists present at the exhibition as much as possible. And because it's short periods of time, it's like 4 days or 2 weekends, and in the middle there is nothing during the weekdays, that's possible. It's possible also for artists to book that in their agenda, be present, be there, and connect with the audience, connect with the collectors, connect with the visitors. So that direct connection is something that we find very important, and that we also see and feel that people, especially younger people, find more than ever important. They want to enjoy art of people they know, they want to buy a piece of art, they want to know the story behind the piece, but they also want to know the story behind the artist, want to have some kind of connection or build some kind of relationship with the artist. So for us, we see ourselves as a community that we constantly try to nudge, try to engage, and try to build. And that, of course, takes time. And when we started out, we started in that beautiful, white little church in the middle of the fields. And it was especially people that we knew. It was our friends, our neighbors, our family, people who were having a stroll in the middle of nowhere and by accident came into that little place. But gradually, by applying all the things that I just talked about, we started to build that community. And by now, we see people joining us if we do something in Oudenaarde, which is at the border actually of East and West Flanders. We see people from the coast all the way to Antwerp even, coming to us. And what we actually do this weekend, this long weekend in Ostend, is a little bit of a test. How strong is our community? Because we have hosted a show with Davy in Antwerp, a solo, but most of our shows were in the Flemish Ardennes. And it's the first time, apart from the solo in Antwerp, that we take it to a little bit further, to Ostend. So people need to have a longer drive to visit us. So it's a little bit of a test to see how strong is our community, all the things that we do, does it also work? If it does, it means that we can go to different places in the first instance in Flanders. That being said, the preparation for what we currently do in Ostend is already there for a couple of months. So a couple of months ago, I would say 4 months ago, we started to build that community already in that part of Flanders. And how do we do that? A lot of social media communication, social media advertisement. Video is a fantastic medium to do advertisement. I think it's the only thing that works. If you spend money on advertising digitally, you also need video, I think, because that's what engages people. We had a poster campaign in the city of Ostend. There are currently 60 posters all over the city, outdoor, to attract people to the location where we are. So there is a lot of kind of communication that is needed, and it starts already months before you actually do the show. But it's interesting, like we had the vernissage yesterday, which was family, friends, other artists, connections of us and of the artists. But today was the really first public day, and it was interesting to have people who said, well, I've seen it on social media. I have seen the posters in the city. So it shows that actually the way you promote your show is really important, and it helps to enlarge your audience. So for us, the measure of success is the strength of our community. Can we enlarge our community? Can we make our audience bigger every month? And how engaged is our audience? That are for us the two measures of success, because we know if those two things are present, we can actually take our shows to new locations, to new places, and we also more or less know how many people that will come. My background is in marketing, and market research, so I love to measure a lot of things. And by now, we almost know a week beforehand, looking at all the stats, how many people will come to the show. Because we have that kind of formula that is predictable. Which makes it interesting, because then you know how much you actually can invest, how much you put in to make sure that actually, how much extra advertising do we need to do to make sure that enough people will come. So it becomes a little bit of a different model. And I think all the things that I've said now, most gallerists would be like, that's not what we like to do in the art world. That's against all the rules. Well, we love to break some rules from time to time, but I also think it doesn't matter. It's about bringing art to as many people as possible. One of our taglines is art for all, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring art to as many people as possible and give the artists that we work together with as much of an audience, as big of an audience as we can possibly give them. And if that's with other means than what currently galleries do, well, that's what we need. And then there is the final one, which is, and you can't see it because it's a pink background with white letters. So I'm going to tell you, it's collaboration. One of the things that surprised us when entering the world of art and galleries, and especially at the moment that people started to notice us, is that it's a very competitive world. We didn't expect that galleries were so competitive towards one another. And also that rule we want to break, because we don't believe in competition, we believe in collaboration. So we work together with other galleries. We have a show planned for November, and 2 artists that we will show are represented by galleries, but we will bring their artists to a different location. It's a gallery from Knokke at the coast, and the other one is from Antwerp, and we will bring their artists to our home base in Oudenaarde, the Flemish Ardennes. And of course, that's interesting for them as well, because their artist will see a new audience that not necessarily comes to Antwerp or goes to the coast to visit art shows. So we believe in collaboration, we believe in joining forces. We will produce content together as well, so you will see content that is supported by 2 galleries. And I have learned, or we have learned, that that is something special in the world of galleries, because I've seen and heard different things with galleries that don't want to stand next to one another at a fair, that don't want to be on the same page in a publication together. Well, for us, We want to work together with everyone as long as the artists benefit, because it's always in the collaborations that we start is always in the best interest of the artists. That's always where for us it starts. So collaboration is what we definitely believe should happen more in the world of galleries and art. So this is a little bit the way we think and the way we work. For us, it's not just a different way of working. Although there are things, I think, that feel like it's a different process that we follow. For us, it's a different mindset. It's a different mindset. It's about being open. It's about being curious. It's about building a community. It's about bringing art to as many people as possible. And it's about breaking rules, or actually believing in the fact that there shouldn't be any rules in the world of the art galleries. So that's our story. That's a little bit how we think, how we work. Maybe in a couple of months or years from now, it will in the end be naive, but at least we tried. So that's our story. Thank you.